You know how have you ever done that thing where like when you're a little kid and you're like, oh, I'm gonna do something nice for my mom. I'm gonna go and empty the dishwasher for her, and then right as you like are about to do it, your mom comes downstairs and she's
Oh,
like, hey, can you empty the dishwasher? And then all of a sudden you don't
did I
want to do
do
it
that to
anymore.
you? I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
may have. Yeah, so yeah, I really
Oh
don't want to
no.
open the stream for you anymore. I don't know. You can.
Oh, my bad.
I'm certain you can sympathize with me. You know. Ooh, look
Oh
at that, the
no, I
Briar
understand.
ban. Wow, banning out
Yeah,
Freaky
the
Briar's
target
one
bit.
trick.
We'll see if it's followed with the Vlad. Yup.
Oh no.
Now I wonder. I will carry ADC as a very generic name. Do you just ban one of the good ADCs of this patch?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the strongest ones right now probably Ash Varus, and then after that you have the Callista Corki. So if you want to take one of those away, you could get the full experience in. But now here's the question: did Freaky Vlad and Freaky Briar plan this? Did they name themselves Vlad and Briar to a five-head bait out the two bands when in reality they play other things?
It's possible. It'll be interesting to see. The Galio ban is interesting. I don't think he's been super impactful in this tournament so far.
Yeah, he made appearances very early on. I think he was either in the first or second game.
Ooh,
But
Aurelia.
apart from that, yeah, haven't seen much Galio. I think it would
Certainly.
make sense if we would see more because he has the decent lane
Yep.
and the roaming capabilities.
Yeah, and Irelia, that's a champion that I know has gotten under certain players' skins. I heard an interview a day or two ago where someone was not happy that they had to lane against her.
Yeah, but I do have to question if you're gonna lock in the Aurelia first, why would you ban the Yorick? You know, especially when you're on blue side, I feel like that's the type of thing where you could very easily leave the Yorick up and then pick the Aurelia as a counter for it.
Absolutely. Zach's a great pick too. His sustain is pretty well infinite.
Yeah, and we
So
saw
not going to be
Zach
able to be bullied out.
struggle to sustain a little bit against a Fiora earlier. But that being said, that Zach also threw the most telegraphed Q of all time and got parried, and then the lane was over from there. So if this Zach is a little bit better with his cooldowns, maybe he can survive all of the laning phases here.
Very happy to see the Tristana. She's one of my most played mid lane champions. You put the E on the turret. You can put it on the minions to get push with the enemy not being able to do very much. You put the E on the turret. Skarner. That'll be a great one to see too.
Yeah, Skarner has a very dominant laning phase and can also, of course, jungle if necessary. So interested to see where that Skarner will go. But yeah, definitely shocking to see that this is Tristana's first appearance either in picks or bans. Tristana, a champion very similar to Ziggs, who has the advantage of being ranged, so a good laning phase, and then can take down the turrets super quickly. You would think that more teams would want to pick her up.
Yeah, super obnoxious spike too at level 3. You just all in, W on their head, drop the E and hit the Q. If you've got Hail of Blades, the enemy champion loses half their health bar if not their full life.
Yeah, if you have Hail Blades, you don't even need that level 3. A lot of times whenever I play Tristana, I'll just jump straight in level 2.
Yeah, once you get the WE, it's very hard for the opponent to do anything. Vayne will be interesting. She gets a lot stronger as the game goes on, and Syndra for the control mage pickup. So Tristana, I do think the draft for red side looks pretty strong. Zac, I don't know. Vayne is a good counter pick into the Zac, but Tristana side lane and Syndra holding it down mid wave clearing might be a lot to overcome.
Now, maybe if somebody is here in the chat who was here on Friday, they'll have to remind me. There was one player who locked in Syndra and had an insane carry performance. I don't know if that player was on Jamiqua, but if they are, then this would be a return of one of the more dominant solo performances we've seen. And I mean, I am receiving confirmation from chat that this is that same Syndra player. So we've seen them
All
be
right,
comfortable in this pick before, but this time around, only one squishy champion. I feel like I remember the Syndra before being able to play into multiple squishies. This time, maybe not able to one-shot the Aurelia through that W or one-shotting the Skarner at all.
Yeah, maybe that might be an indication of TRES Migos' overall preparation, though, failing to ban out what was a real power source for their opponent in the previous game.
Yeah, but you know, TRES Migos also with that round one bye may have been a little bit complacent and haven't done their research. We'll have to
Yeah,
see how much they actually know about the structure of the tournament because, I mean, Skarner and Vayne, two picks that we haven't really seen yet, so they could be cooking something up. They could also have no idea what's going on.
yeah, and we'll have to ask them after the match if the Ryer and the Vlad picks were removing a lot of comfortability or not. I think looking at this draft, I'd have to give the slight edge to Jamiqua. Tank for tank. I think Zach and Skarner are fairly equal. Skarner certainly has more CC, but if Zach is landing his Qs, that should end well. And Tristana's early game, I think if she ends up laning into either the Vayne or the Aurelia, she can really build a lead early.
Yeah, and I mean, like once you turn the nameplates on, it gets even worse because the rank disparity. We'll have to see if TRES Migos can do anything about it.
Yeah, champion pick really might not matter if the skill disparity is that bad.
But at the same time, we have I will carry ADC on that high
On
octane
ADC.
Vayne, so you know there's always a chance that the Vayne just takes over the game. Could be quite hard to play Vayne into Zac and Syndra, though, I must admit.
Yeah, that is a lot of CC. The rolls will have to be on point for this one. You know, I think this is the perfect kind of tournament for the new Skarner ult. You can grab all 3 members at once, and if you can grab 3 people and pull them under your turret, I think you just get an ace pretty cleanly.
That is true, yeah. The Skarner's ultimate lines up with the amount of people on the team. But, you know, I mean, I gotta say, I think you could probably drag Zac under the turret as many times as you want. You're never going to get that kill.
Yeah, that's true. For early laning matchups, I wonder if you try and put the 2 tanks into each other. Or if you really care. I think just about everything, aside from the Zac, outranges the Vayne, so that's probably the only thing you need to hide him from.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would imagine that if you were TRES Migos, you would actually want the Vayne into the Zac. I can't imagine that Vayne, with her lower range, would have a very good time into Syndra or Tristana.
Yeah, and as the game goes on, remember Tristana's passive increases her auto attack range and her ultimate range. So the range disparity for the Vayne just gets worse and worse. Syndra is fairly short ranged as far as mages go, but if she has orbs on the ground, most of her abilities get the ranges extended in some way.
Yeah, interestingly, Skarner opting for the shield bash instead of the demolish. And yeah, only 2 demolishes to show for it. Even Tristana doesn't have it. Only the Zac and the Aurelia opting for it. It is a little bit curious for me because I feel like towards the end of Saturday we started to really see a lot of teams finding success with the triple demolish, and today we really have yet to see that at all. I think we saw 1 team pull it out.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a little bit of a bait on Tristana. I think it's easy to fall into the trap that going for domination secondary like this one has might be the way to go, but it feels really good to play.
If you would care to take a look at the Zac's items right now, maybe this could be the advantage that TRES Migos need to come away with the upset.
Lane matchups look fairly normal. I mean, Aurelia mid is pretty common, and Poe Veda carries go bot. Notably, Skarner does have the smite. We'll have to see if he picks up a jungle pet later on. Not even the option for it for anyone on Jamiqua's side. They will all be laning this game.
Yeah, Tristana has the exhaust, maybe worried about the burst from the Vayne or worried about the Aurelia diving on top of her. We have to see when the Zac will realize that he does not have items.
Yeah, but speaking of summoner spells, not a single teleport for TRES Migos. Aurelia with the Ignite secondary and Vayne with, I can't quite tell what that is, barrier, I believe? Yeah. So, great pressure in lane, but, you know, returning to lane after a kill or map mobility could be poor at best.
Yeah, definitely going to be a concern. So, both teams making big changes. Also, fret not, for Zac does have items now. He has that singular biscuit in the inventory.
Oh, good. That'll definitely turn the tides for him.
Yeah, we'll see though, even without the item, able to get the early push against the Skarner.
Yeah, and good Q to bash together. HP advantage definitely going in Skarner's favor, but the minions are pushing into him. And with Zac's ability to pick up the bloblets, low HP doesn't matter so much.
You'll have to see. This Q might kill.
It's the root. Zac HP, or the level up heal, E back in. big. Yeah, and in mid, Irelia's just been getting bullied. Looks like Syndra's been able to land a good number of stuns in the Q follow-up. Just great damage coming out from her.
Yeah, still just absolutely silly that the Zac has no items. I wonder if he's even noticed yet. We'll have to ask about that in your interview if we can remember.
Irelia, there's the stun. Auto doesn't quite get the kill. W flash forward auto will pick it up. Zac passive burned though. Briar gonna do some damage, able to knock out one of the bloblets, two of the bloblets. Looks like Zac will reform with half bloblets. He'll have to walk it back a little bit, especially now that Briar has that level advantage. Zac could be in threat of dying. But first blood going to Jamiqua. Good Q back. That Vayne is low. Tristana has a wave stacked. She could very easily dive this.
Yeah, but she also has to be careful, Vayne having both summoner spells. You don't want to dive somebody with barrier unless you really know your damage.
True. Looks like the dive will not be taken. Q forward, E and a pair of autos out from the Tristana. Takes about half of Vayne's health away.
Yeah, but
Vayne
Vayne's
really
still holding on to the barrier. Maybe intentionally so, trying to look for the bait.
Yeah. Certainly could be. Irelia might be starting to roam down. Yeah, she gets past. Syndra pinging missing and looking to follow. Tristana now backing off. Probably the smartest option.
Yeah, and Zac pulling through with the items finally, the Bombing Cinder. But the toll of not having those starting items definitely showed. He lost his passive and he was down about 10 farm.
Yeah, that'll hurt. Refillable pots and a Bombing Cinder isn't a bad first back though.
Missing the cannon is pretty bad though.
Yep, that one definitely does hurt. And between the first blood onto Irelia and her roam, she is down a good bit of experience onto the Syndra.
Yeah, and then of course plate's going down for Tristana, so even though it doesn't seem like too much has happened, Jamiqua opening up with a 800 gold lead.
Yep, and Zac was able to get his Demolish proc off, trading pretty happily into the, oh, I forgot his name.
Does that put Aurelia's Q on cooldown? Oh, that's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, not getting the kill.
Yeah, look at this. Syndra with the level advantage. Could maybe look for a big
Having
trade
that
here.
ultimate unlocked is huge. Misses the stun, but looks like the Q hit. Great trade coming out into the top lane.
Skarner does have the ultimate, cancels the E.
Ultimate comes out, forces the flash to follow. Yes, EQ gets the kill.
Yeah, and I don't really mind that flash. I think that some Skarner players might be saying just throw the Q, but you know, a skill shot's a skill shot. Flashing to secure, not a terrible idea. But Syndra does have ult here.
Half HP. Syndra, yeah, with the stun, the Q, and the ult to follow up. Great, and she's going to be able to pick up the farm in top wave. Looks like Jamiqua was going for a lane swap with the Zac running out towards mid. His teleport's on cooldown, so he will lose most of that farm to the tower. And Jamiqua pinging missing. Not sure where the Irelia is. She is safely in the base, though.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be a permanent swap for Jamiqua. They might just be doing it because situationally it's the only way they could collect the waves. But it seems like either way, Irelia going to be happy to go right back mid. Doesn't care too much.
No. Oh, ult for ult, jumping in the Tristana. Barrier did come out, and there's the kill. So, barrier flash and exhaust all down in the bot lane, but crucially, Tristana keeps her flash, gets the kill, and I believe she is up a level now.
Stun missing from the Irelia. If they want to commit for this, she's going to have to burn the ult. And Skarner, no ult yet. This could be a scary 2v2 to take.
Yeah, and Irelia does not have a lot of damage, but able to get up onto the Syndra. Syndra able to force it back, and Zac can E out. Will not be canceled this time. It's like the smite was used from the Skarner, securing one Void Grub, and now two Void Grubs go over to TRES Migos.
Yeah, nice little contest there, recognizing that Syndra was low on mana, couldn't really fight back. Also, Aurelia going to take this Scuttlecraft. Something interesting about Aurelia jungle, I know that doesn't really come up much, but recently a change was given to Aurelia, maybe about 6 months ago or so, where attacking a large jungle monster does refresh her passive stacks. So it used to be that her passive would fall off if you weren't hitting champions. Nowadays, you can hit the jungle camps and you'll be fine. Now, it would appear that my stream has caught up to some spectator delay. One of the players must have taken a while to load into the game, so we'll give it about 30 seconds here. If it doesn't automatically start my play again, then I will exit and go through the spectate. That would mean that there's a chance that I go back to spectate and we get a large spoiler. But I guess while we're frozen here, looking at the state of the game, definitely Clan on the Syndra again, showing an impressive performance so far. We'll see if they can dominate like they did before.
Yeah, Jamiqua's been able to build themselves about a 1k gold lead. We're back to live, it looks like. Yeah, Jamiqua's built that 1k gold lead, and that's just come through a combination of kills at good times as Skarner drives Zac into the wall. It's a level up on the Skarner, misses the ult. That hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I think even if you land the ult, though, the Zac is fine. I mean, has the ultimate. Zac heals so much when he clicks R, so I don't think there's any threat of death.
Yeah, he does.
Also, at this point, yes, should have the passive back.
W in, the E on top. Q does not get the stun.
Yeah, that condemn missing by inches. Don't know if it would have changed the result of that, but definitely have to wonder.
Yeah, now Tristana still at half HP and half mana is going to be able to push that wave in and set this Vayne even further back. Already down about 20 CS, 15 CS, but Tristana now going to be able to free hit that turret and take another plate.
Yeah, and see, this is where you really start to question the lack of TPs. Vayne is going to have to walk back, going to give over a plate to the Tristana and give her a good reset. And then in the mid lane, the Aurelia has no mana, but can't really reset in this position or will be losing a little bit too much gold from the cannon wave crashing. So she's forced to stick around, could get dove by the Syndra if the scatter lands.
Yeah, Syndra able to get her first turret plate. There's the scatter, the W, the ult comes out, and a kill for Clan.
Yeah, and if the Aurelia just had a TP instead of an Ignite, she could have based last wave and been back in time. So it seems like the gamble not paying off this time.
No, Auntie Jenny able to kind of just free farm under the turret. Tristana is top lane. They might be looking for a dive. Freaky Briar's walking up, unaware that Tristana is here. Zac, he gets the knock-up. The ultimate comes out from the Skarner, but Tristana just picks up the kill. Tristana doesn't even need to use her ult.
Yeah, and I would imagine here that Zac is going to TP bot to stop the Vayne from getting too much, and the Tristana will just maintain top for a bit.
Looks like he's just backing. I think Vayne is just going to be able to pick that up. Vayne doesn't have a great turret take. Here's the teleport coming out. Back into teleport.
Yeah, and all things considered, I think that Zac is pretty well equipped to deal with the Vayne with the early skill caps rush, plus the cloth armor and the refillable pot. I would be surprised at this point if the Vayne can find any kind of advantage.
Yeah, and maybe just poor drafting from TRES Migos. They might not have had the champions for it. Oh, Irelia able to force the Tristana flash out. Tristana E fully stacked, autoing. The Ignite is burning, but Tristana's going to be able to W away, both at half HP, and she will survive.
Yeah, Tristana not having the TP, going to lose some top plates here. Yeah, go ahead.
What I was saying, maybe a little bit of a poor drafting from TRES Migos. They don't have very much AP, so double steel caps is going to get a lot of value for the Tristana and the Zac. I'm coming out on a Freaky Briar.
Yeah, nobody's been able to pushing that top turret. She's got to be careful though. No summoner spells, but that Tristana's exhaust has just come back up, so we could see the Tristana just go for a play here.
Yeah, and I like the stun Q auto, flash forward Q, walked away from the Freaky Briar, not able to get anything. Tristana E on, detonates the Halo Blades. It's her rune is fully stacked, W's forward, and is able to pick up the kill.
It doesn't even need the exhaust.
No. And with the static shiv, not the best for 1v1 fighting, but great for the push. And with that, she's able to push a wave almost full health into the turret, pick up a turret plate, probably able to pick up a second one. Even just one Void Grub is really doing work when she's able to free hit those turrets.
Yeah, this game's starting to slip away from TRES Migos a little bit. We have a 3k gold lead. substantial kill lead, a plate lead. Everything seems to be going their way right now. And I think doubly so when you think about the fact that TRES Migos, of course, opting for all the laning summoner spells. They would have expected to have a lead right now. So without having that lead and with no teleports, I think they're really going to struggle here.
Yeah, and you can see how well synced Jamiqua is. Zac and Tristana both base and run out at the same time, so they'll be able to catch their waves at the same time, and the laners are set back to the way they want it. TRES Migos looks like they're going for a Void Grubs play. There is a smite on the Skarner, and he has gone back and picked up that jungle pet. So
Zac and the Syndra know what's going on, though.
Yeah, and they're pinching that he's going to come in, hit. Syndra does not have the W set up yet. Zac stunned up. Scatter the Weak comes in, a big double stun. And the ult just walked out from the Skarner. Staying on those jungle grubs, though. Skarner should heal up a good bit.
Syndra ult just came back.
Yeah, Zac got chunked. The Irelia needs to be careful. E in, scatter, and a kill ult goes onto the Zac. Skarner will drive the Zac into a wall. And just trading autos, I think Zac will go down here. Yes, can Syndra get the kill back?
She should. She still has the ult.
She's just been holding that. There's the ult, and there's the kill for the Syndra.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the freaky synergy not there that time.
True. TRES Migos did manage to pick up 5 Void Grubs, which is not something many have been able to do. So they will be able to spawn the little Void Mites whenever they are in range of hitting a turret. The crucial part now is getting themselves in range to hit turrets, which they have struggled a little bit with so far this game.
Yeah, the only person on TRES Migos with any kind of power at all is the Skarner. But a little bit questionable if Skarner can carry this game.
Yeah, Tristana, great buffer by the Vayne there, using the knockback to knock her out of her W. Turret shots, and Vayne is just able to survive. Crucially, does not use the barrier, so she might be able to have another good fight against the Tristana after a respawn.
Yeah, now one could say that the lack of barrier was a good calculation. I would say that the Vayne was probably inting there. Maybe should have just clicked it just in case. But regardless, was able to save the barrier. Was able to outplay the dive and get some some damage onto this bot turret. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, looks like about 2 waves crashing in there. Tristana's probably going to lose a good bit of it. She doesn't have the teleport, and Syndra and Zac cannot teleport down to cover it. But 3 full items for Jamiqua, and only 2 so far for TRES Migos. So definitely the power is on Jamiqua's side. That gold lead has not gotten any larger or smaller, still sitting at about 3k.
Yeah, the Vayne's down 1.2 to the Tristana, so even after getting that shutdown, still really not anything to work with there.
Yeah, it looked like the Irelia was down about 2k herself. The mid lane certainly not going TRES Migos' favor.
However, it seems like there is an odd set of resets coming out from Jamiqua. All 3 members from TRES Migos were able to get to the turrets, so we can see that that especially that top turret and the mid turret could be ripe for the taking the next time that that they reach there.
Mm-hmm. All coming out. Dive under the turret. Ignite is down. Unable to land that last auto attack. The turret does a lot of work for Clan and surviving on just a sliver of HP.
Yeah, was it that the Syndra leveled up? She got a burst of like 100 extra health there. I checked to see if she had Triumph. She does not have it, so she had to have healed from something there.
It must have been a level up because none of her items would grant her that. But Syndra able to pick up the mid-tier 1. And with Tristana crashing this wave, all 3 outer turrets have now fallen for TRES Migos. Jamiqua up 3 turrets to none. Void Grub's not seeming to help out much, and that gold lead's gone up to 4k now.
Syndra actually opting for the Magi's, so interestingly, if she chose, she could get the tier 3 boots upgrade. We saw somebody earlier say that they went for the same strategy, going the Magi second so they can get the tier 3 boots upgraded, and they said that they regretted it, that it was not worth it. But we'll have to see if Syndra decides to do that, or if she just continues to build into her next item with that Hextech alternator.
It'll be interesting to see. The blossoms that are spawning around the map from Abacon, I believe, give you more XP the worse your KD is. So Irelia might want to think about running around and last hitting some of those blossoms. Being at 0 and 5, she'd get near the full amount of collectible experience.
Yeah, actually, she doesn't even need to get them. If anybody picks up the whatever they're called, it's a global buff. So as long as anybody touches it, Aurelia will be able to get the full experience from them.
That's good. Blue buff given over to Skarner, and with that jungle pet, not made much use of it. Maybe he considers starting that, since he'll only have to defend out to the tier 2 now. Definitely picking up that topside jungle at least should be fairly doable. Aurelia just pushing the Zac out of the jungle. With Tristana there, not much she can do at all, and Tristana looks like she might be going for an engagement with the Aurelia. Skarner starting to walk over now. With Syndra in the area, nothing can be done. Mid-wave push secure, and Syndra now walking down into red side jungle.
Yeah, it's really tough for TRES Migos to move around the map how they want, because it seems like no matter who goes into the Vayne, TRES Migos can push the Vayne, or sorry, Jamiqua can push the Vayne back, force her to catch the wave, and then get the 3v2 numbers on the other side of the map. But it seems like they're all grouping up for the Rift Herald right now. Jamiqua knows this is here. This could be the game-deciding fight.
They have warded it. Zaki in, maybe a little bit early. Not a lot of follow-up, but here it all comes. Syndra able to get off her abilities. One-shots the Skarner through the ultimate. And now Freaky Vlad forced to run away. Tristana hop right on top of him, will take him down. Vayne forced to run. Jamiqua does not look like they're going to continue the Herald. See if they can get anything across the map. No, they will. Tristana and Zac attacking the Herald, and Clan just looking to take a reset.
Yeah, and depending on how bold that they're feeling, they could look for an end here. They could take the Herald mid. Syndra could TP in with the Tristana push. Doesn't look like they're going to go for it. It doesn't seem like they are trying that hard. I feel like if you're really going to go for an end, you would have had the Zac reset and TP in himself. But
yeah, I think they're just going to play it a little bit safer, but with the amount of turret damage they've been able to get down so far, it might be worth it to leave the Tristana mid, try and take out that mid tier 2, and then use Herald to crash into the tier 3, a full health Herald.
Ooh, wait, maybe they could look to push deeper. The Skarner just died and the Vayne hasn't rotated over. I believe they're about to drop the Herald here and just go for it in this 2v3.
Now that the tier 2 is down, and of course the Skarner, wave completely wiped out, W back.
No, they're gonna play it slow.
Herald? Yep. Tristana backs.
And yeah, Syndra will be going for that strategy that we saw, getting the Magi's quickly purchased for that second legendary item and then going into the tier 3 boots. I know that a lot of people think that the tier 3 Sork boots are not good after the hotfix nerf, so we'll have to see how those feel for her. Tier 3 boots are also completed for the Tristana, yeah.
Yeah, her tier 3 boots, she has that IE too, so now she has the champion damage and the wave clear, and she is going to be an absolute pain if she wasn't already. Really able to get the EQ in. The Syndra stun comes out, Aurelia rooted up, and just so much CC. And for a squishier champion like Aurelia that relies on her movement, there's just not much you can do if you're rooted for 5 seconds.
Looks like Jamiqua will be starting Otacon. We've seen this buff be the bane of other teams' existence, but at the very least, this is only going to be a 2v3. Vayne has no TP, so she'll just have to be stuck pushing bot.
On the far side of the map, and she's probably the best champion to leave away. She does not do a lot of tower damage. Freaky Vlad trying to get something started, but now just pinched off. Tristana E on top of his head and killed by the Zac. Otacon has been pulled out of his range. He is healing.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Jamiqua tries to do it again, because I want to call your attention to the fact that the only person here who has Smite is that Skarner. So maybe a potential chance to see a sneaky steal. Check it out, Otacon absolutely destroying Jamiqua right now. Zac taking a lot of damage, Syndra taking a lot of damage. Ooh, but they're canceling the E. Are they still going to go for Otacon? I feel like at this point they could maybe look for an end. Do they have the survivability?
Keep free hitting the turret. Syndra looked like she was standing inside of the circle of death for a good long while there. So I think they might have the damage to take it though. Otacon down to 3,000 HP. 2,400 gets the Zac passive. Vayne's taken 2 turrets with objective bounties, but this is the first Atacon we will see this tournament, and being Voracious Atacon, it gives them 150 seconds where if they are killed, they will instantly respawn in base and not give over a full gold's worth for the kill. This could be the push they're looking for. Tristana still has the Rift Herald. If they're ever just going to run it down mid, now would be the time.
Yeah, the way I see it, they just TP the Syndra mid and go for it, right? They have, even if they fail, they still have that revive. So you just send 3 people mid, drop the Herald, and look for the end, and if it doesn't go well, you don't even get punished for it.
Yeah, and they see Irelia on top wave, they can see Vayne on the bot wave. You know there's no teleports. They can't respond to this play. If they just take out this wave, Syndra's sitting on the TP in base, but she's just going to walk out bot.
Maybe worried about where Vayne is. Doesn't see her on the map yet.
Yeah, Vayne is now grouped, and Irelia is going to take Vayne's role as the split pusher.
I mean, the only reason why you wouldn't just run it down mid here with the Herald is if you don't know the full limits of the objective. But it seems like they're going to go for it with just 2.
Yeah, the Herald's in now. Zach driving the train. The crash is successful. Herald immediately melted, though, and that wave no longer exists either.
Yeah, really weak push. I think these guys are underestimating the power of that instant revive.
Yeah, Jamiqua playing it safe, maybe a little bit too safe. I think that Syndra was able to save the tier 2. Tristana starting to 2v1, and here's the teleport from Syndra. Irelia has base and is able to run mid.
Yeah, but this time, no TP.
Again. Yeah. Zach E, was that canceled? Didn't go very far.
Maybe canceled by the Vayne Condemn?
Possibly. But despite a bit of poor wave clear with the static shift from the Vayne, they are holding on well.
Yeah, this is a cannon wave. They're gonna go for it here.
Yeah, Vayne just able to survive, but on solo HP, she's forced to back. No Irelia ult. Zach ult comes out. Irelia around, but Conqueror's going to do absolutely nothing. She is popped. Exhaust onto the Skarner. He goes down to the Syndra ult. Ult out from the Tristana. Vayne forced away, and that'll be an inhibitor. Jamiqua takes it in a pretty clean game overall. Not even needing the Atacon buff that they fought so hard for.
Yeah, and I think that what this means is that Clan, with these last 2 games, is 19-3 on the Syndra overall, so maybe some teams will need to take note of that.
Yeah, I think that whoever goes up against Jamiqua next, if you let Syndra slide through the draft, oh, I don't know what you're doing.